Hi folks, I've just done an update on the grow room. Well, little experiment I'm doing with some micro veg. A look at the mystery tomato. I've had to move it because it's huge. It's turned into a triffid. I might have to top it out at some point, so any advice on that from you tomato growers would help. Beavers in the cellar. Yes, I'll show you what I mean. Caught one. And the peppers, they're doing quite well. I'll give it a quick look around everything, and I found some mystery plants growing in the worm bin. I don't know what they are. I don't know how they got there, so I've pulled a few out and put them in a pot, and I'm going to see how they turn out, see what they are. I'm guessing the tomatoes, but I don't know how they got there. But anyway, I'll get on with it. Nice to be nice. So what I'm doing here is just a little bit of an experiment. I've got to go out and buy some more compost if I want to do much more indoor growing this year. So what I'm going to try is doing some micro veg in, well, I'm only doing them in these little trays at the minute. These bigger trays, I could probably get 10 on here if I wanted to, like, get plenty going to keep us going every day. But I'm going to try them in vermiculite and sand, and compost and sand, not swamp water. Now that looks like a swamp just because I thought these are from plugs. they're food holders. I thought they were from plugs, and there's no drainage holes in them, so I've got to put some drainage holes before I plant. But you can see the fails and the mistakes as well. But like I said, what I want to try and do is see how they go and compare them in just for my vermiculite. I might feed them a bit of worm water, but that's about it, and they'll be fed on exactly the same. And they're in 50% compost, 90% water, and 50% vermiculite and sand. So I've got to sort them out, but I'll update this in a couple of weeks. But what I've got here anyway is this beetroot, and this is broccoli, and these are for doing sprouts, but it's a seed that'll grow into a veg, you know what I mean? And these are just some radishes which I had left over from last year what I didn't plant, so I'll stick these in because I like radish greens as well. Might even just see how they go, just for fun. Here, look, beaver damage. That's I was looking at my ginger, and I noticed that a couple of pieces had gone down. Anyway, I caught the beaver. So that's that. I hope you can see this. Somebody's been felling my my ginger. I think I've got a ginger beaver, but actually I haven't. I found a culprit, and here he is, the ginger beaver. It's got a taste for ginger. Now I don't know how these guys are getting in, but I've caught two. Unfortunately, one wasn't to catch it a live trap, but I don't know. I've just no idea. I've looked around. I thought it might have been through my eating room where my oil goes in, because there's a gap round pipe, but it's meshed up. I've had a look like, but unfortunately there's another room that's a bit junky, and they've got in there and are breeding. So I'll be running two traps, and the ones that go in this will go outside, and the ones that go in the other will, well, go to mouse heaven. So, is this a tomato or a triffid? The mystery triffid plant. It's been 2 weeks since I did last update. Well, yes, it's 2 weeks since I did this, and this has just grown crazily in that 2 weeks. I might have a problem. So, what I'm going to have to do with this is move it over here into that corner where that brush and hoover thing is, and I'll put it up into that corner, and it can go that high if it wants. So I could probably do some advice on this, on like nipping top out. I mean, if this is some sort of huge variety of tomato, I don't remember eating any beef tomatoes this year, but if this is some sort of huge thing, I think I'm probably going to have to take top out and try and train it up in that corner. As you can see, they're quite big flower buds on. Down here there's some smaller ones, and they get smaller unfortunately, but it's doing alright. So I planted these little trays out. That's beetroot. That one's the radish, and this one here is the broccoli. I planted these as well. I've poked some holes in them with my knife, so they're draining down, but I've planted them out. What I'm going to cover these up with, again, is just a bit of sand and vermiculite, and hopefully that'll keep the old fungus gnats down. So, and I'll update these in probably a couple of weeks. If anything spectacular happens, I'll update them before. So I'll move the tomato into the corner. It'll work alright there. It can go that high, another 3 foot, before I top it out. As I said, anybody any advice on that? Be interesting to see if I get any tomatoes off it, but we'll see. Back to figs again. I managed to get a couple of fig cuttings. I did ask. There's a place where I'm working across the road. There's an house, and a guy's got a fig tree in his garden, and I asked him if I could have a branch for cuttings, and he kindly let me have some. So I didn't steal them. I did spot it, and I spotted the guy. So here's something interesting. Well, it is to me. Now they look like tomatoes to me, these, but they've just come up in my worm bin, and they've had no tomatoes that I know of. I haven't put any tomatoes in there, so they might have come. The tomato seeds might have come in with some coffee grounds. The only other thing that I've put in there was the fig from the other tree. So from my other one, I'll show you that again in a bit. But it'd be interesting to see what they are. So I just pulled a few out and stuck them in this beaker. And the peppers. That one's now in full flower. I've been going around and doing my busy bee bit and fertilising them. You can see, look, full of pollen. And just going around and checking, spreading the pollen about round them. This one's in flower as well. It's obviously not as lush as the other one, but it's got some flowers on. I thought I did have, if one of these is, well, I'm hoping one of these is the sweet pepper and one is the hot pepper. As I said, I have got 3 more underneath, which I know definitely ones are hot. So I might cross these if they are, and try some seeds from them for next year. I know the hot pepper will ripen in here. I ripened some last year, so it'll be interesting. And I'll get a look underneath now. This is why I made this trolley. Basically, well, space. It gives me a bit more space and it allows me just to move stuff out of the way with 2 hands, not with 1 hand. Don't want to tip everything off, but I'll just get a look under here now. The other peppers that I brought in, these are doing alright. These are putting flowers out. These ones I'm going to keep to stop from flowering. I don't want these to flower. I'm just trying with other 2. Unless them 2 up at the top are both the same pepper, then I might have to swap one of these out. I know that's definitely a hot pepper, so, and I'm sure at least 2 of these are sweet peppers. Not these 2 particularly, but at least 2 of the peppers plants. So see what I'll get up top. This is the ginger from outside. This hasn't been attacked by the mouse, but it got cold. But it's set off again with new ginger. My sick lychee. It puts leaves out, they brown off and fall off. So that might have to go. More beaver damage. Yes. There we go, look. Pineapple beaver's been. That mouse had a chew of this as well. Now, this is quite funny. These are 2 different pineapples. This one were grown outside. This one were grown inside. But they were both grown from, you know, just the tops from the store-bought pineapple. But it's just interesting how different they are. Or I find it interesting. They are obviously a different type of pineapple. I'm guessing it's not just the growing conditions. But and that's what's going on under there. I like these lights. I might have to build another one of these these light units, because again it's only 4 bulbs, and well, it spreads a lot better. I find lighting spreads a lot better than just the normal CFLs what I've got up top. And here I have my other fig, the little one. This is 2 weeks on, so that's going great guns. Really pleased with that. It's got some more shoots coming out here and here, so